Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Who we got in here? Nobody. Playing to myself. Might have Mike in here, maybe. Ah, there you go. A show for one. Hope you're enjoying, Mike. Now, the plan is to have some people show up and maybe log into the StreamYard link there and put you on and just have a chat and hang out and just talk about, I don't know, what you get for Christmas, that kind of thing. Private show? Yeah. Who else we got in here? Still the private show for Mike? Mike, tonight I'm playing the Wolfgang Stealth, the USA Stealth. This is probably one of the, well, I say all my guitars, excuse me, are, some of my best playing, but this one, it sounds really good on the stream, I guess. It's got just enough oomph, and I don't know, this one feels great to play. What's up, Robbie? Either of you guys want to jump in? The link is right there in the description for the StreamYard. Come on, jump in. We'll have a party. I've forgotten how to play that. Hey, we got a Mike Olson here. Let me drop you in. Hey, what's going on, Mike Olson?
What's up, buddy?
Just hanging out, jamming, having a party.
Now we just need Robbie.
Yeah, get Robbie in here. Does the sound begin to degrade after I play for a little bit, or does it come through?
No, it sounds great.
Cool.
Sounds amazing.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Come on and hop in, Robbie. I don't know how many people I can fit in here, but we'll just keep adding as we come in.
Yeah, hopefully Robbie jumps in.
Yeah. So, how was your holiday?
It was great. Had a great time.
Did you get everything that you wanted?
I did. How about you?
Yeah, just more for the kids, but just
right.
the standard stuff for the dad, the socks and all that. You get anything guitar related?
No, I pretty much have everything I need, just like you. I'm sure,
Yeah.
I pretty much buy whatever I want.
Yeah, it's always nice to continue to add to the arsenal, though.
Definitely.
It's not like you need it, but
Exactly.
Hey, here we go. Here we got Robbie. Jump on in, Robbie. What's going on, man?
What's up, Robbie?
Well, it'd be interesting to actually meet Mike Olson. He's like my biggest fan.
I know. I love Robbie, man. Robbie's awesome.
Getting situated
me a couple minutes here to try to get this stuff together.
Rob Blackmore official, welcome.
Yep,
you can grab the link to the StreamYard and jump right in, Rob, if you want. Otherwise, we're just hanging out. So what you been up to today, Robbie?
Oh, not too much.
Hadn't built any new Kramers.
Oh, look at that! I'm here.
How about
What's
that?
up,
Welcome,
Robbie? It's
welcome.
good to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, man.
So what's been
Somehow
going
I
on?
pictured you like younger.
Yeah, I'm 54, so I'm not too young.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm still in pretty good shape though.
Still got plenty of juice in the tank.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I try to keep going, about being in shape and all, but
Yeah, it's hard, man, when you get older.
well, it's the damn rheumatoid arthritis. It's just kind of the big killer.
Yeah, it's no joke. I've got it in my hands, so I know how you feel. I couldn't imagine having it all over.
I was assuming that makes it more difficult to do the detail work that you want to do, like on a neck or something like that. Or
Have you seen a rheumatologist, Mike?
No, I haven't.
You should go right away because if damage starts, it's permanent.
Is it?
Yeah, you probably need to be on a biologic. Like I take Enbrel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Catch it before it catches you.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting old, man. It seemed like last week I was 38 and now I'm, almost 55. It's crazy.
mm-hmm. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
It does, man, for sure.
So what kind of gear are you running, Mike? What do you got? You said you have everything you
Of
needed.
course, I'm big in the, the EVH, of course. I've got a couple Music Man Axis EVH, well, I guess they're not Eddie's
Right.
guitars, but they're pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a ton of his guitars. I got the Frankenstrat. In fact, I'll go down. I've got my basement is pretty much where everything's at. So I'll go down and show it to you guys.
Yeah, cool. Give us a little tour.
Yeah.
Man, Mike Olson's on the move.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
on the move. I got a big basement up here in Idaho, so I'll turn it around here. I got
Nice.
the 5150, the Ernie Ball, got the Frankenstrat like everybody has,
Mm-hmm.
and got the 5150 PV. I don't have all my stuff out. I got about 50 guitars.
I think I remember seeing some pictures of this on Johnny's show.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got my my thing from Laz. He did a really nice
Nice.
handwritten card, which I'll definitely keep forever.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Did you
So I
get
got
one of
all
those wing nuts from him, or did you get something else?
No, luckily I didn't get any wing nuts.
Yeah.
But I got a pretty good basement. I can crank things up down here. Nobody hears me.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Janice,
I like,
how's it going?
Go ahead.
Just saying hey to Janice in the chat there. Janice, if you want to jump in, we got the StreamYard link in the description. Anybody wants to jump in, come on.
Yeah, this is a cool feature, Ryan, to be able to talk to everybody.
Yeah, I figured, I had so much fun the other night on Johnny's channel with all of us in there. This was just kind of an impromptu thing. I was sitting up on the couch and I was like, let's see what happens. Let's see how many people I can get to come in and join. Just chat.
I was really happy to see you pop up because yesterday I watched a bunch of your videos and commented on them.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty good.
Yep. I've been kind of lazy lately. I haven't really put anything together and haven't been practicing anything, so haven't had the content like Johnny does. But I get something every now and again. So yeah, I figured this was pretty cool just to come on, talk to everybody.
Yeah, I like this. This is really cool. It's good to put a face and talk to you guys and talk to Robbie, and I love Robbie's content, and it's kind of cool to see Robbie come out of his shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's more like a bunker.
And like when Robbie first started on the chat with Johnny, I was telling Johnny, you got to have this guy on the show, man. He used to work for Kramer, and he's probably got so many great stories, and Robbie's been a hit.
Yeah. Really, really
well,
good.
I mean,
addition.
Mike was like, he kept saying, put Robbie on the show. And then he finally put like a super chat in there. It's like,
yeah.
Johnny, put Robbie on. And that's how I got on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now look at Robbie.
We got Rob Blackmore official in the chat. He says he's got a Wolfgang special satin surf green, purple Kramer Beretta. Got one of those over there.
Oh, nice.
And a red Slammer Hamer.
Now's what.
Cool. Looks like he had more stuff, but it got cut off. Oh, there we go. And a guitar shaped like Paul Stanley's Ibanez. Cool. Very cool.
Cool.
Well, jump in here and show us, man.
Yeah.
Janice is asking, she says, not bad yourself. Yeah, I'm doing good, Janice. Had a good holiday. How about you? Get everything that you wanted, Janice? Robbie, did you get everything you wanted?
Well, I didn't expect anything really. I mean, holidays for me for years have been just dismal.
I remember you were saying that the other night.
Yeah, but this year, with all this stuff going on, with all the people, Johnny's chat and stuff, it's been really great. It really has.
Very good. Yeah, it's been fun hanging out. I've just been a couple months that, I had known about Johnny for a long time, way back, seeing him post on, I think even MySpace and other places. And, just recently had kind of started getting back into playing guitars, and, I had all this stuff and I never really used it. So I was like, I'm going to go down and start learning and, getting some more stuff, and, found Johnny on YouTube. So yeah, it's been fun.
That's cool. Johnny's definitely the catalyst for all of us, really.
Yep. It's really starting to become, like doing this kind of thing, feeling like a community of people that they actually know each other. Back in the day on whatever messaging or whatever, you just saw people through a keyboard chat. Now this is just phenomenal. You can hop on and see each other and chat and hang out, and that almost felt like a party that I went to the other night with everybody.
Man, that was so much fun. Yeah. It was amazing. That was probably one of the best shows.
Yeah, from what I can remember of it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a blast.
I was like, I started trying to share some of the stuff that I knew and stuff that happened to me, and I'd go onto these other places and I wouldn't get any replies from comments. I'd tell things like, the Jeff Weedland story or something, and I don't know if people just didn't believe me or what.
Hang on just a minute. We got Rob Blackmore coming on in. There he is.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey,
what's
how's
up,
it going?
Rob?
How's it going?
Nice to see you guys. It's a lot different than just being in the chat and being video.
Yeah. Putting a face to the names. It's nice to be able to do that. Yeah. I thought this would kind of be pretty cool to try to do that. See how many we can get to come in.
This is my first attempt at doing it. So, I mean, like, where there's a lot less people than the chat just going zing right on through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just us and Janice. And Janice says she's been making lemonade out of lemons.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Robbie. Janice.
What's up, Rob?
This is it,
What's
buddy.
happening, Blackmore, man?
Well, I'm in Canada. If you guys know where Kramer's in, I would imagine it's in New Jersey, right, Robbie?
It was a long time ago.
Well, I'm just up the East Coast in Cape Breton. It's a small island, and the town is Glace Bay. So if you look up the East Coast, and you see like Halifax, and you see Nova Scotia, Cape Breton is in between Halifax and Newfoundland. We look like the number 6 on the map.
Cool.
So where I got my guitar, the Wolfgang, Long and McQuaid. Laz refers it to Lone Wolf McQuaid.
Lone Wolf, yeah.
That's what the store is. It's Long and McQuaid. I think it's in the States. But I was looking online through Facebook one time. It was a couple months ago, and they had what they had, a manager special, was marked down. The Wolfgang guitar I have is it's not brand new. It's secondhand, but it's like new. And whoever had it must have treated it like a baby. Because the original Eddie Van Halen strings are on the guitar. The only problem at the moment I'm having with the guitar is the detuner. It's the little micro nut that's in the side of the detuner. It seems like to me it's stripped. Now, the other night, I had it down again, and I had the lock nuts and everything taken out, but I tuned it to the standard tuning, and then, well, the drop D tuning. And then when I locked it down, and I put the pin back in, the detuner, and I tried to use the small Allen wrench to tune it to the E. It was on E, but it was flat. And when I tried to get it closest to the middle, like, 40-40, 20 on one side, 20 on the other, you got to get it in the middle. It seemed like every time I tried to get it in the middle, it would go to the middle, it would bounce back, and then the micro nut would just go around a little tiny bit. So what I tried to do was the little pin that was in the detuner, I tried to just, eke it back towards myself to come back, but it went from that to C sharp. So I just left it as is. I'm going to take it into the luthier at Long and McQuaid after the Christmas season, because I attempted to take it in. He told me, he said, if there's anything with the detuner, you're going to have to get a whole new detuner kit. So I said, okay.
What version of the Wolfgang did you get? Was it a standard or was it special or?
It's the special.
Okay. Huh.
I don't know if I can reverse this camera. Hang on.
Let me say hey to R2, R3 in the chat real quick. What's going on, man?
What's happening, R2?
What's up, buddy?
R2 watched my Luca video, my Luca short today.
Yeah, I saw you. Oh, that's the okay, that's the surf green model. Nice.
That's nice.
Can you show the side of the bridge real quick? Like how flat it is to the body? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I know sometimes they're yeah, you might have a little downward. Are your trim claw springs pretty tight, or do you have any?
It's like when you first, the way it feels like to me, Ryan, is that when you first get the Berettas, right? They have the three springs in them.
Yeah,
and you gotta watch. Like, I was very, very conscious of it, because I know, like, if you push in too hard, you're gonna snap your strings. I didn't want that to happen. Like, what I find with the Wolfgang is you don't have to do very much to it. You can just feather touch it, hold on to it, and you can just give it a little bit of vibrato, and it does the trick. Oh, it does the trick. I don't have no problems with that. Like the Floyd Rose, it's flat to the body. There's no raising up in the back where the pins are, where it's supposed to be right on the deck. It's just that detuner is driving me crazy. Like, I don't pull it out and do a lot of drop D. It's just that it's there, and I know it's there, and it's driving me crazy.
If it's not working like it's supposed to. A lot of times what I've done on some, I haven't had many that have given me trouble, but I'll take the whole assembly off, and I'll take the locking screw off as well. And I'll actually lightly sand the locking screw to make sure that you get a smooth glide. And underneath the detuner, where that little U-shaped cutout is, I'll actually sand that very, very lightly as well. But if your little set screw is stripped, then I don't think there's much you can do about that.
You know what I was thinking? I know it might sound crazy, not to interject or interrupt, but when EVH made those, right, and they have the little micro nut to use with the Allen key, like, you got to be ever so gentle with the hexagon key, well, the Allen key, if you want to call it, because it's so thin. It's really super thin. You think, I thought I almost like stripped the end of the Allen key, but that wasn't the case. What they should have done with those was they should have got, like, those Christmas toys you get, like, and in the bottom of them, where you put the batteries, there's a very, very tiny screw If they would make a screw that size just to fit that, where you can use like oh god, set screwdrivers. You get them in the drill sets, and
Something
do
a
it that
little
way, and
sturdier.
just do it very so gentle. That way, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Then you'd just be able to go to the hardware store and see if they have those exact size screws. And I think that might be a better fix, because you would probably get a better grip on those screwdrivers.
Yeah, you mentioned something too. Now, when you're adjusting it, typically what I'll do when I'm setting it up is I have it where I'll tune it to the drop D, and then you push it in, see where your low E is, or your E. And if I need to adjust it, I'll actually pull it back out to the drop D and then do a small adjustment so that there's no pressure on it. So
I've done that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, may just have a screw that is it. Have you looked at the back side of it to see if it's like? Have you taken it apart at all to see if it's stuck out or if it's all the way in or?
I like what I've done. Yeah, I haven't taken the detuner off of it because I don't want to. If there's something with it where it was secondhand, brand new, basically, like the guy must have babied it because it was in very perfect condition. The fretboard didn't even have any sweat marks on it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of. The only thing I can think of is maybe when you get the detuner package, it comes with the 6mm spring. It comes with the longer peg, the shorter peg, and the Allen keys to go with it. I'm thinking maybe if I do get a second detuner kit, instead of having them to put on, like if you want to say the stock pins that come with the Floyd Rose, maybe that longer pin, like where you got a standard Wolfgang and you get no detuner. The guy's got to go out and buy a detuner package and they got to put it on himself, right? In some cases, I've seen videos on YouTube where one guy he was trying to put it on with the normal pin that comes with the Floyd Rose. He tried it. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
He had to go with the longer pin I guess it's for the intonation and the scale.
Yeah, they give you, when you get the kit, you get actually a longer pin and then another longer pin. So that depends on where your saddle, where the intonation screw that you use. If your saddle is moved forward, you obviously will need to use the longer one. Yeah, but typically, like Robbie will tell you, most of the saddles will be on the middle screw, I think, and then the last two will typically be up on the front.
Absolutely.
Very front one. Yep, just like that.
And I mean, all of my Floyd Roses and all my guitars that I've built all have it in this configuration. Sometimes I buy Floyds. People have a different spots. I don't know if they botched putting in the wood screws for the knife's edges, or somebody screwed up the route or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw a guitar today from some guy that used to be a friend of Johnny's, and he had all these what I call poser. It's not the real parts, I know for me that I'm different than everybody else, but one of them, the Floyd Rose, wasn't even square in the route. And we're not talking it was off a little bit one way or not. This sucker was way off. And then, of course, you might have to use one of the different screws for your intonation because, the bridge isn't really put in properly. But to have somebody make you a custom guitar and they can't even, drill a wood screw holes right, let alone go back, fix it, and try again.
Pretty scary. It seems like if you're that crooked, you would have probably some binding issues with returning to proper tune when you let off.
Well, if it touches anything, it won't work. It's got to be totally free. It can't rub just a little bit. That'll do it too.
That's what she said.
Oh man, this is cool.
Just hang on. Just hang on a second, guys. I'm pulling the other 2 guitars that I mentioned out of my closet. That's why you're seeing like I'm getting mugged in the background here. But
cool. That's cool.
I thought it was GTA, man.
You said you're using one of those Fender Mustangs, the LT25. I checked one of those out at Guitar Center. That's the little small like desktop amp.
Yeah, it's basically it's just this here. If you can see that.
Okay, yeah. That thing sounded really good. I was surprised at Guitar Center when I tried that thing. I think it's the next one up that had a little more features on the settings that you could do for the effects and everything. But
yeah, the 50.
thing, yeah, that little thing sounded fantastic. I was surprised.
I was surprised too because I had it on the settings where I have it. I have no gain. I have that turned all the way down. I have the volume at 10 to 12. I have the treble at 12 o'clock. I have the bass. I have that all the way up. And I just put my master volume at maybe quarter to 12 or 10 to 12. And with the Wolfgang, tone wide open, volume wide open. It depends on what preset I select. Now, I found, and I haven't played guitar in a long while, I was into bass for a little bit, dabbling into that, and I just left it. I put a set of, it was a Samick bass, one of those old Japanese versions, and the only thing I done with it, there was nothing wrong with the bass. I ordered through Amazon a pair of David Ellefson's 10s, steel nickel wound. I put that on it, and it was perfectly fine. I sold it. The guy I put it on Facebook for sale. It was only on there for maybe half hour, and some guy picked up on it, out the door.
Snap right up.
Hey, here.
Mike has Cujo coming to the show.
Yeah, I got a big German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go down the basement.
So what do you got there, Robbie? I don't know that I've seen this one.
Oh, this is Mike's favorite guitar of mine, I think.
Oh, I love that guitar. Robbie's got some amazing guitars.
I know. I've seen a couple of the ones on there that Robbie's held up. Hey, Robbie, if you ever want to get rid of your 5150.
And I'm after him for the red flame one.
Oh, the 82 Isaacson guitar.
Yeah.
Robbie probably hears that all the time.
Here's the Slammer Hammer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Diodario 10s on it. I had this set of Diodario 10s on it for maybe the last 15 years. I haven't changed them yet.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't yet to tune it up. But the last time I tuned it up, it was in tune, and it never came out of tune. But it's been sitting in the closet with the 2 double humbuckers in it.
Is that a dark rosewood or is that an ebony that's on there?
I think it's a dark rose.
It's what now?
I think it's a dark rosewood.
Dark rosewood. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We got Alonzo in the chat. What's going on, Alonzo?
Alonzo.
This here Slammer's made in Indonesia as well.
Indonesia seems to be the popular spot for these guitars lately.
Yeah, definitely. This is a 2010. I don't know if I can get it in there.
That USA. Oh, yeah.
10 EVH. I love the Japanese ones.
Oh, that's the Japanese special.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
I love the.
I had I bought one of the black Japanese specials when it came out. That's back when it came with a case and everything, and it was $1,200. And I gigged with it a little bit, and I got to where I was wanting something else, and I sold that thing. I'm kicking myself for selling that thing. That's why I'm like, okay, never sell any more guitars. Just keep them.
Those were amazing guitars, the ones made in Japan.
They literally, I remember, it had a beautiful bird's eye neck. It felt, just like the USA made, but it was flat top and it had the USA pickups in it. Those were outstanding guitars for sure.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of those. I love them. They're definitely
quite a few, huh?
Yeah, I've got a black one that's signed by Eddie. That's the one I bought at the charity auction.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember in the chat.
I seem to remember something about that. Yeah.
I lived in Vegas for a long time, and I got to go to a charity auction. Being in law enforcement, I was able to go, and I got a black 2010 Japanese hardtail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the first 3 that came in, because he had 3 of them that were exactly the same, and he had them labeled 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
And I won one of the silent auctions.
Wow.
On that, I'm trying to find it right now. I've got way too many guitars.
Yeah, I think I remember teasing you in the chat how much you want for that thing.
Yeah.
Alonzo has a question.
He signed the bag too for me, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got that right here. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It says number 3.
Very cool.
Yeah, I got to find the guitar.
Let me get Alonzo's asking a question. How long did it take you to get that tone so freaking good? It just took me as long as it took to kind of get all the right components. Alonzo, for the longest time, I kind of knew what I needed and what I wanted. I was just trying to find a cheaper way to do it. And for me, I'm kind of one of those people that it's either got to be like you, Robbie, with the Floyds. It's got to be an original Floyd. It's got to be the exact right stuff. So it just took me as long as it took to find the components, which was, I bought an Eventide Eclipse for the detune. It's a rack mount, and that's not exactly what Ed used. It was the H3000 that he had, but you can't hardly find those anymore. And then the main thing was the Lexicon PCM70 rack unit, which he just uses for a splitter and for the cathedral delay, and then that feeding down into the to the harmonizer and then to the SDE 3000 delays. All those components are exactly what makes the tone that Eddie had, and running it wet, dry, wet. And basically, it just takes you as long as it takes to find those components, and then you can have it too. So,
yeah. Yeah, that thing sounds great.
Thank you.
That's like slicing cheese.
Slicing cheese? How's that?
That's what I say to my wife. Like you watch, particularly you watch Kirk Hammett, and he's on when he's playing and he's ripping it, and he's got the middle finger stuck, and he's just like, it's to me. I know it sounds bizarre, but that's the first thing that popped to my head. It's like having a block of cheese, and it's just like right on through, no effort.
Right. Yep.
Here's that second guitar that I was talking about. It has the Paul Stanley body, like his smashed mirror, and it's an Ibanez neck that's on it. Now, where I got this, there was a gentleman here in Glace Bay years ago, must be over 20 years ago. When he first opened his guitar shop, he had a lot of new equipment to buy, but this is secondhand. So this is a build, Robbie, if you want to have a look at this one.
I better get my headgear.
And it's all custom put together, and it has from the paint job, even the double humbuckers in it. The guy, whoever had done it up, they had painted it. The color of the pickups covers, to me, they're like a mustard yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get my headgear.
Robbie's got to grab his magnifying glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the Iceman, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. The Iceman style. Only thing, it was basically somebody had redone it. They took I have no idea what finish was on it. I was told that they done it right down to the bare wood and refinished it and dropped the 2 double humbuckers in it, and they put this Ibanez neck on it. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever guitar it wasn't an Ibanez. It's just the Ibanez neck.
Here, pull it off so we get a better look or get closer.
Oh, it's like a splatter. Okay, that looks cool.
That's cool.
The 3-way switch up the top.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you can see where it was. I don't know, getting the light here. See how far away it is from the body?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty high. Let's see the headstock. Oh, okay.
Oh, they did the whole. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And there's the heel.
How does that one play?
I haven't had that plugged in a long time.
What kind of action you have with that neck being that high?
It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
looks like a chunky neck, man.
Yeah, it's definitely not what do they call it? A compound radius.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Like I'd say it might be a dull C shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks pretty chunky.
That's cool.
Ah, there's the purple
The Beretta?
Kramer. Yeah. Seems like
Yeah.
everybody's grabbing some of those.
The only thing I did with that is I've been watching these videos on YouTube. I seen this guy that's in England, Liquid Charlie. He usually wears a hat backwards. He plays a lot of Van Halen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he does mashups and everything. Going through his video, he has the blue Beretta. And he said the same thing he said about the tread bleed and the volume.
Right.
So I didn't do it till I watched like 3 or 4 videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing it. It was, and everybody, even I think his name is Steve from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He had one, Charlie from England. Then there's another guy, and I was like, that question, what can you what next?
Yeah.
So they were basically saying consistently through all those videos, they're saying the same thing. The volume acts as a turn-off switch.
Yeah.
There's no, like, if you had distortion on and you roll it down to 5 or 4, and it's almost like a light acoustic simulation. And then if it comes to another part where, it's like you're stepping on an overdrive pedal and it boosts your sound, what it is, you just roll your volume back to 10 and you come roaring out of the gate with your distortion again. So they're saying, clip the capacitor out of the volume. Then they were saying about going to the tuning post and tightening the nuts on those a little bit just to make it snug.
Yep.
Like I am right now, I'm experiencing it dropping out of tune, but not by very much. It's either one red stroke before center, or maybe one red stroke after center. It's nothing major. And then the springs in the back, like you're saying about the Wolfgang. The Wolfgang is hard to push in a little bit for dive bombs, but I'm not going to mess with that.
Yeah.
All I simply did there with Kramer was I took the middle spring out and I just gave it each screw on the claw, each one a turn, maybe twice, a quarter turn, from 12 to 3, from 12 to 3,
Right.
checked it, 12 to 3, 12 to 3, checked it. It was fine. I didn't want to go any further. And I had guitar through, I guess it was Sears, if you guys are familiar with Sears, years ago when my mom and dad were alive. My mom had bought me a Nova. The only thing good about that guitar was the maple neck on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very small radius on the neck. That was the only thing good about it. I had saved a trem bar from that. So what I done was I took the trem bar that came with the Kramer, I put it to a side because it has the little white piece of plastic on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the trem bar that I saved and I just pulled a white piece of plastic off of it, and it goes into the bridge perfectly fine. So,
well, I gotta disagree with some of what those guys are saying. Of course, you expect this, right? Well, the capacitor shouldn't really have anything to do with the volume on the potometer. It's the potometer that's the problem.
That's why I went ahead and I just changed my whole one out.
Right. So you get a different potometer, and then cutting the capacitor is going to warm the tone some, but you could keep the capacitor attached to where the hot for the pickup goes, and put the other end of it to ground. That'll warm your sound. If you really want to warm your sound, get one of these. Okay, that's an 022 600 volt orange drop capacitor, but you have to be careful on the numbers. The numbers on this one. This is a 2032. And those around those numbers, those are the ones you want, because if you get a different classification number on them, they're not going to sound right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that if you got a pickup that's like really, really trebly, that might help. But I don't typically like a capacitor on my stuff.
Robbie, do you know right offhand what pickup is in that Kramer Beretta?
It's an Epiphone pickup. Now, which type of Epiphone pickup, it depends. Like
somebody was saying it's an Alnico.
Huh?
I thought somebody said they're Alnico.
Oh, Alnico is just the magnet in the pickup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have like Gibson would usually use Alnico 3s for like the Les Pauls. You could get some that had Alnico 2 magnets. Most were 3s. If you get your Alnico 5 magnets, you're getting into your higher output, pickups. Now, if you run that through, the computer or modeling amp or something like that, you're gonna dial out the sound or whatever. But if you're going straight to the amp, if you're relying on just the pickup sound by itself, it's gonna matter.
Yeah.
So like all my guitars have Alnico 2 magnets in them.
What was that you were just showing, Mike? I missed that.
This is a 84 Ibanez Destroyer.
Okay.
And it's
very
got
nice,
really different pickups in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in really shape. Sorry, I'm not the best at doing the. There we go. It's in really good shape. Really clean.
It's got a nice rosewood fingerboard on that. Not quite as dark as I like, but that's pretty cool. What kind of trim is that?
It's Ibanez's version of Floyd Rose. Not really. It's not a Kaler, but it's okay. It stays in, right?
Is it up and down, or is it decked?
Yeah, and down.
Yeah, cool.
It's a cool guitar. I like. I have quite a few Ibanez guitars, mainly because of Eddie's the first album, and then I've got there's that black one that Eddie signed from that auction.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of hard to see.
What's that red tag say on it?
Oh, that's just tags I put on all my guitars so I can find them.
Oh, I thought maybe you had it priced out to sell.
Hey, everything's for sale, right?
If the numbers are right, yeah.
That's right.
Not here, not my house.
Yeah,
Robbie says no way.
I don't blame Robbie. I wouldn't sell anything if I had what Robbie had. Robbie's got some amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
I wouldn't get rid of it either.
And that's why I brought this. I broke this out because I know it's Mike's favorite guitar.
Oh,
This is a 1985 body that came. You can see it's got the routed trim cover. We only did that for about 3 months.
Yeah, that thing's beautiful.
It's Alpine white. This is Alpine white, and it's faded over all the years. This color.
Maple board. What kind of headstock does that have? The pointy?
This is a hell no pointy. Give me a break. Are you kidding me?
That's a banana.
I knew that would get him.
This is a Lucido banana tilted that I took out of the garbage I was supposed to break.
Oh.
And Edward was watching me break all these necks because he didn't want anybody to have maple board.
Right.
Even though it's a tilted and it has the truss rod adjustment on the headstock and not the heel, which are both things that he didn't like. It also has a glued on fingerboard with no skunk stripe, another thing he didn't like.
Right.
But yeah, I took it home.
Good for you, Ricky. You're smart.
Then I managed to acquire this body somehow, which I'm not going to say. And this is the this 85 Lucido experimental neck. No finish anywhere on this puppy.
Very nice.
I think
my first Kramer. Well, I had that 82 Isaacson guitar, but I didn't really consider that a Kramer, even though you probably can, because I mean Isaacson was head of guitars then.
So what we got now, Mike?
Now we got a 80. I'm thinking it's an 88 Charvel.
Okay.
But this thing is in absolutely perfect shape. Sorry, I'm not the best with.
Oh yeah. I used to have it was a Charvel. I think they called it a Charvette, maybe. And it was dual EMGs, and it had a Kaler on it. And I ended up getting rid of it because of the Kaler.
This thing, the neck is so nice on this one. I picked this one up at a garage sale.
Really?
Yeah. An older couple, I guess their son had left it behind, and I picked it up for $80. And I guess it's worth probably, I don't know, $600-700. But it's just cool that it's an old one.
Yeah, very nice. So are those active? Is that an active MG style? Yeah.
Yeah, it came with the guitar, yeah.
Very cool.
You're making me get through all kinds of stuff here. All right, I'm gonna play Stone Free on this guitar soon.
Right on.
Not right now.
Mike says he's got the Hendrix vibe.
I love Hendrix. Look right there.
Stone Free on this, and I would play the lead with my teeth. Heard it here first.
I love Hendrix. That's like religious music.
Well, I mean, you know, Jimmy was a showman, and he had the swing. He had the expression. He didn't overplay it. You know, there's a lot of things he did that are kind of lost in today's stuff.
Let's see that thing.
Okay.
Is that an exotic model, Mike?
That is this is a Ernie Ball.
That's just a natural.
Natural.
Now, you know what I was looking at online? I know you guys from Scott the other night. I had mentioned to Johnny, and I seen one of his videos. It's
nice.
Music Man Sub 4. Pardon me, Music Man Sub AX4.
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have the Floyd Rose on it. That's what I was looking at. The reason why is because I was trying to find. I was originally set out to try to get the Trans Amber Burst finish on the Wolfgang, but here in Canada they weren't available. And for them to try to order anything in, they'd have to order from another store in Canada, and they told me it'd take like up to 6 weeks for the guitar to come in. That was over the phone. So I decided to go in and have a look, and that's when I found the Satin Surf Green. Gotcha. So where the Kramer Berettas here in Canada, in the States, they're paying what? A little over $200 for the guitar.
For
here in
what?
Canada, that Kramer Beretta, the same as Johnny's, the same as yours, Ryan.
Oh yeah, $199.
I paid $389 for it.
Wow,
man, big difference.
You're talking like almost getting really good parts prices there. You know, like possibly another, maybe 1,000 if you don't have to paint it. One of mine kind of thing. When you get up to that kind of price, you could buy parts and make a real nice.
Are you saying put one together, Robbie?
Oh, sure. Well, I don't care if it comes all together. First thing I do is take the entire thing apart.
Right.
All right. He talked about 1988.
Oh, nice, Robbie.
1988 Charvel Model 2. All original. Nice. JT6 bridge. Locking nut after the locking after the nut bullshit they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the headstock that mine had.
This freaking thing's probably worth $1,200 to $1,500 now. Easy. Of course, I have the original case, and it's perfect.
Nice.
That's a nice one.
That's pretty loud acoustically. Yeah.
Oh, it plays really good. I don't use the trem. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it?
It's not worth using, no.
Oh, you mean that trim is not worth using, or a trim in general?
No. I will always use the Floyd Rose. Only certain using. But, the JT6, it's decent. It'll stay in tune, but I just, the block, the block isn't really nice.
Yeah.
It's an 88. They were farming out. It was all licensed.
Right. Yeah.
And in 88, everything was licensed because Floyd left Kramer, and he took Floyd Rose with him. So any bridge you got after 88 was licensed until 2007, when he finally got away from Fender. Fender's the one that came out with the Floyd 2 and the low pro Floyd and all this other stuff. And then it wasn't Floyd. It was all farmed out, come from God knows where.
What are your thoughts, Robbie? What are your thoughts on the Floyd Roses that are on the EVHs compared to the Floyd Rose you have there? What are your thoughts?
Oh, it doesn't hold a candle to it. Fender is farming out the Floyd Rose like out of Korea or something. It's nowhere near like the 82, 83, 84, 85.
Well, let me tell you about the Floyds that are coming on the EVH USA guitars. This was the first year the Stealth came out. I think this was 2011, 2012, something like that. And this has a real Floyd. And you see, I don't know like how straight that bend is. Right there. If you look at your special, you'll see that this shelf is bent further down, almost like they bent it too far, and that's the Floyd Rose 1000s. The white I went the wrong way. That white USA that you see right there, I bought that earlier this year, and it has the Floyd Rose 1000 on it. I was pissed off when I saw that.
Yeah, I don't blame.
And this is a way better trim that was on this older USA guitar. That was one thing that I was really upset about on that USA signature that I bought. I'm like, there's no way that Eddie was playing those things. They say he preferred it because it sounded better than the original. I don't think so. Yet, Rob, if you move your, yep. See, you got a little extra bend on that shelf where it comes down a little further. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's like an indentation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to come up and it's supposed to be a flat. You know, if you look at any original Floyd from the 80s, that shelf is perfectly level.
Yeah, when I look at the guitar face on, looking right at it, on the outskirts of on the outtrace of it, it's like you could see where it doesn't exactly take up the whole entire space of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it just probably needs a good setup.
the outtrace. Yeah. Yeah, see the outtrace?
Yeah.
And it's like underneath the Floyd, underneath the Daytona, you can see the little cab underneath the Daytona.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that was routed out that far.
I noticed that too when I was watching one of those little short videos you see on YouTube, and it was Eddie a couple of years ago, and he had a Stripe series in his hand with the Daytona, and they say that the little fine tuner that goes corresponding of just above that, you're supposed to leave that out where you can pull this out easy and push it back in easy. It must have been happening right across the line, like either that or it was just turned in by mistake. Sometimes the Daytona, we all know with the Daytonas, you just don't pull them out. You push on just a little bit and then pull them out.
Well,
in the same way,
I've got to disagree with you on that. If it was done properly, like they did back in these days, watch how easy this is. I mean, this thing is butter on this thing. And when they changed over to the 1000, like on my specials, you got to struggle with it. The Stripe series, I got to struggle with it. That's why I say I go through and I'll sand that set screw, and that seems to take care of a lot of that. But whatever they did on the US signature version, where it is, there it is. I think they addressed that a little bit because that one was buttery smooth too. But the specials and the Stripe series don't seem to get the same attention.
So what year is that guitar, Ryan?
Which one?
The one you're saying has the real Floyd on it?
This one I think was 2011. They came out with the Stealth, or was it 12? I can't remember. But they had since changed it from the real Floyd over to the Floyd 1000s.
Well, the Fender must have had Schaller make those for that particular guitar then.
No telling. Well, I mean, these are EVH branded. So yeah, we've got Mike has replaced his with a real Floyd, looks like.
Yep. I did.
And is that your EVH guitar?
Yes, sir.
And did you see a big improvement in feel and performance?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. It was worth the time and the money to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Way to go, man.
I think I probably need to do that. Go through and find some, and I got a couple that You know, some of them I've got just to have them and, you know, have it hanging on the wall here in a little bit, or just to look at it and go, oh, that's cool. But the ones that I really, really play, I'll probably start swapping those out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely hurts to buy, but I think it's worth it in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
You play it, you know, a lot. And I did when Laz did the blue paint on him, I did my blue paint.
Yeah.
Did all that.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed just from this guitar and any of the others is the bar. Hear how quiet that is?
Mm-hmm.
The USA Signature white one that I bought earlier this year, it's awful. It's like clank, 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 clank. You know, when you're playing, you can hear it coming through the. I'm like, there is no way that Eddie played this like that.
Mine does the same thing.
Say what now?
This one does the same thing yours does. It's like if you have everything, like if you have a good lead sound distortion on, and you're just muting the strings, just stand there holding the guitar. If the bar is loose and you happen to just pick it up and just let it go, you hear that from the body.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe, I know a lot of people don't like to use the noise gate, but if you put a noise gate on, maybe you wouldn't hear that.
No, I think you'd hear it still. It would trip the noise gate unless your noise gate was set so high. It's just the quality of the bushing and the seal that's in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe if you spray it with some, maybe if you just give it a light spraying with some WD-40, maybe that will go away.
You shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't.
I don't know that I'd be spraying anything greasy into my bridge anyway.
No, I mean, like, take the trem arm itself when you got it off the body and just kind of like get yourself some Q-tips, right? Spray it on the Q-tip, and then just like you would put it in your ear, just go inside that collar and go around those threads very gently and come back out and just put it on. I wouldn't dare myself spray it in the body of the guitar. I'd be scared a lot of get into something else and shortly out a pickup or
like down in.
Is that a rock roller?
Is it a what?
Is that a rock roller, Mike?
No, this is another one of my garage sale guitars. It's an old 85 Ibanez Pro Series, but it's not in the best shape. Let's see if I can it's got a Kaler on it. They replaced the bottom pickup. It's not really
What's happening, Donald?
What's going on, Donald?
Hey, you guys got to realize that the guitars that Eddie played were nothing like what they were putting out for sale. They were totally redone, you know, and customized for Ed to play. He didn't like just have your one you could buy and play that.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, that was the claim, you know, when he went to Music Man, Ernie Ball. He was like, yeah, I want anybody to go and be able to buy it right off the wall, and that's exactly what I play. And for the most part, I'm sure that it was.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of difference. I mean, you know, you got all the kinds of the neck work and, you know, the wiring, all kinds of stuff has changed. He wanted to sell guitars, so he's going to say that, you know. Well, you always see him with whatever he's endorsing. It doesn't necessarily mean what he's playing on stage resembles that in any form.
Janice says, nice tats there, Mr. Blackmore.
This one's fresh. This one's fresh.
That's cool.
I'm getting this one finished. It's going to be a cover up. It's going to be at the end of the V and the H. It's going to be just a little bit of the fretboard, and then the rest of it's going to be Frankie to cover over the old Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Right on.
So you'll have the guitar. Is there going to be any kind of background around the guitar, or just the guitar itself?
I was thinking once I have the guitar body there in the neck, just to have it like a commemorative tattoo for Eddie's passing, if I can. Angel wings on the outside of the body of the guitar.
Ah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I got tons of them. I got my koi fish.
A little harder to see that one. Sweet.
A Japanese henna mask.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Pretty good, Donald. How you been?
Donald Young, what's up, buddy? Donald's a great guy.
So what else you got hanging on the wall there, Mr. Mike?
Well, my good stuff, which I don't show very often. I'll let you guys take a peek at this wall.
Oh, there's the good wall. Okay.
Gotcha. These were the tools of the trade for years when I was working.
Yeah.
And then I got the really good one.
Oh, is that a Barrett?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in law enforcement for 21 years. I just retired.
Well, thank you for that service.
I'm glad to be done with that and move on to new things. So
I bet.
I'll give you guys one last look at this. You're not going to see it probably much. But this 88 Charvel.
Oh, nice.
Four plate, made in Japan.
Got the big gasket behind the neck plate.
These things, there was a fire in 88, and they only made about 400 of these white ones with the sparkle. So there's not a whole lot of these. And all the bodies burned in 88. So
oh, wow.
It makes it just a more rare.
I didn't know you had Charvels, Robbie.
I don't like to admit it.
It's a little blasphemous, isn't it?
No,
well,
I think
it's
cool.
a big war, Kramer versus Charvel for sure.
Right.
And you know, then you got Kramer, and then to me, what I consider Kramer is like wholly different than anything. You know, after 85, I'm done. You know, and that's just Kramer to Kramer, because the Charvel people are all, you know, oh, Charvel's so great and this and that. You know, and of course they've pretty much gone off the deep end too with all this import stuff, and you could buy one for, you know, $160, and it's you know, by my standards, pretty hideous, but you know, so
well, I think you have to. I think you have to admit though that most of the brands that are out there, you know, most of your side brands and whatever, they're owned by the same companies. So you really only have a few companies that are making stuff. You know, you got your major couple. But my point is that today, a cheap guitar today smokes and spanks anything that was considered a cheap guitar back in the 80s and 90s, you know, when we were buying guitars. I mean, you can buy a really affordable guitar today, and it's just awesome compared to what the crap used to be that we had to, you know, save up for, you know, doing our after school jobs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot higher quality and even the more affordable stuff, I think.
Yeah, they've come a long way with manufacturing, and you know, I know Robbie doesn't like this stuff, but like CNC machining and, you know, just like the Beretta Special, it's unreal for $200. I couldn't imagine a guitar like that, you know, back in the 80s. That'd be $800 guitar, $1,000 back then.
You walk into the music shop like a little kid in a candy shop, and you're like, and you have to end up walking out cold in the bag. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I remember, you know, when I was starting out and I was looking for a guitar, I wanted something cool, you know, and I was big into Eddie, and I wanted something kind of shaped like what he had, and I couldn't afford the Kramers and whatever that were out at that time. Um, and there was, I think it was called a PV Tracer, maybe. It had kind of a paint splatter paint job similar to what, you know, Rob's guitar he showed earlier. And I remember that thing was like $375. And, you know, I had to save up to get that. And that thing played like shit. I mean, it was a big piece of crap, you know.
And that was a lot of money back then.
It was. Yeah. So
well,
being able to and I was so surprised with this. You know, I kept hearing the ones that Johnny was playing and they sounded great. And I was like, that's got to be a fluke. Let me go check it out. This thing played so well and sounded so good that I was like, $200, I'm buying this thing, you know?
That's what sold me on it, because I was watching the little tidbit videos that Johnny was putting on YouTube, and he was at Guitar Center, and there's one particular video he was there one day, and he was roasting the nuts off it on the 5150 Iconic.
That's the one that I heard. Yeah, I was like, that thing just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It made a believer out of me for $200.
Well, I sold the bass guitar that I had, and the cabinet with it was only a 15-watt cabinet with it, to a lady that we know. She wanted to buy something for her husband for Christmas, right? So I only paid $180 for the guitar and the cabinet. So all I really done was I bought the pair of David Ellefson strings, put it on it, you know, played around with it for a couple of months, but it was sitting there. It was still well in tune, and Christmas come on, and somebody needed a gift. Here was an opportunity. I sold the guitar, the bass guitar, and the cabinet for $300. So automatically, I took that in right away, put it on it, and come home with the Beretta.
Nice.
Robbie, look at that.
He has the case with the Kramer banana on it.
Pretty cool, huh, Rob?
Yeah, I got a few of those.
Yeah.
This one, the size for. Oh, it's got the rounded edges.
Yeah, the rounded edges.
That's
this one's
for focus.
That's just a newer Pacer.
How much you want for that case?
That's another one of my. I got this one at a, believe it or not, at a pawn shop in Vegas. I got it for $50.
The case?
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. I would have bought that.
That's
right
not
away.
bad. You could probably sell it for about 150.
Yeah,
it's got the rounded edges.
Yeah, it's got the rounded edges, and it's not in the best shape. But as soon as I saw that banana headstock on it with Kramer, I was like, I gotta have that thing.
Yeah, the 2009. Well, it's my fair warning guitar, but it was a 2009 Imperial reissue or something like that. And the case that it came in is sitting over there, but it's got the pointy headstock on the Kramer logo, and I was like, "Oh, come on!" You know?
Hey, I got a few of those.
Yeah.
This one right here is. If I could show it without being embarrassed, you know how good my camera work is.
I know mine's horrible too, Robbie.
Can you see that?
Yep. I believe that's what mine looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and this is a good case though.
That's in good shape too.
Yeah, usually the ones I do, and you just pay probably about, you know, a couple $100 or so, maybe more. They're harder to find now.
What guitar lives in that one?
This one is probably my nicest guitar I've got here.
Hang on, Robbie. I got to see that a little closer. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
What is that, Robbie?
This body was made for me by Bill Isaacson.
That's the one I keep trying to buy off of him.
Wow,
This is not a veneer.
beauty.
This is wood grain. This is 2-piece glued down the middle, solid.
That's solid flame maple.
That
Yes,
is beautiful.
I picked out the wood myself in Bill Isaacson's shop in 1982. I wasn't working at Kramer then, but I knew people working there, and I heard all about what Eddie was trying to do with the 5150. Originally, I had a Gibson humbucker in here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
And
brand
this is
new.
the Floyd I got. This is the Floyd I got in 1982 for $100.
Oh wow!
Some guy had stolen it from the factory, and they were going through R&D, trying to figure out who they wanted to have make Floyds from. And this was one of the examples from Schaller.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So anybody that says in 1982 they didn't have whale tails, hey, I was there. I bought one here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's fine to look at when they released stuff, but I'm talking about when they were actually there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
they weren't released until the end of '83.
Mm-hmm.
But they were around, and I had one.
Wow.
Never gone back.
Super nice.
Never.
I've never seen one that was a solid piece like that.
Me neither.
Stripe, with the grain and the flame going all the way through it.
Yep. That's.
All the way around.
You'd see guitar builders probably making at least 4 or 5 tops out of that piece of wood instead of
exactly
one
Ryan.
guitar. Yep.
Yep.
Very beautiful guitar.
That is a beautiful one.
I'll buy that from you right now.
I had a
ET5150, what's up?
I had a Charvel San Dimas neck on it, and I got to tell you, hey, what's up? I'm Fred from Australia. Man, everybody raves about San Dimas Charvel necks at Ebony Fingerboard. It was not all of that. I got to tell you. To get the thing to play years later, I took the frets off and replaned the fretboard to try to get the action down, and then put the frets back on.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't slide them out. I pulled them straight out. Okay.
Right.
Pounding them back in with a hammer. Didn't glue them or nothing. Numbered them so I knew which one it was, so the edges would still be smooth.
Right.
Then, of course, I redressed it 2 or 3 more times. I ended up giving it away to a friend of mine that I built a guitar for out of parts I had laying around, and so he could play out of my rig. It had a Duncan Alnico 2 bridge pickup, a Floyd Rose I had hanging around, which I do. These things hang around here, and I took it had a neck pocket, a neck pickup route, which I covered with a piece of plastic. I filled in the other holes because there was a pacer body,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a mahogany like from 2014, so it was heavier. But I got the good sound out of that, and I put that San Dimas neck on there. Charvel's answer to me of why the truss rod won't take that whip out of the neck was that string tension.
Mm.
This is what damn it.
They set it up for 9s, and you were wanting to use 10s.
Oh no, I never used 10s, but they said string tension would straighten out the neck. And we're talking about hard-ass maple neck with an ebony fingerboard. That thing was not moving at all.
Oh, so you had back bow in it, and you were wanting to get it straightened.
Well, it wasn't like full back bow. It was like a whip. It had a little whip toward the end of the headstock.
Okay.
Like over here.
Yeah.
It had a little. It was just enough so I could get the action, like slamming.
Yeah. And they
which
said
I
that,
demand.
they
That's
said
I
that,
demand.
That looks good.
yeah.
I have guitars that are even lower than this, but this is about as high as I'll get.
Mm-hmm. Like I said,
But to do that,
just let me know how much. I'll buy that one from you.
The neck on this is this is a fire sale neck. This is the shape of the banana. In '88, this came out of Lucido, Canada in '88. Was never used on anything before I got it. And this was the banana shape that was supposed to save Kramer in '88 when they decided pointies were a failure.
Mm-hmm.
they didn't last long enough to do that.
Wow.
Oh God.
That's a beauty, Robbie.
Yeah, that's I think that's my favorite one that you've shown us. Obviously.
It's a little trebly because it's maple. I think I put a Mojo Tone oil filled cap in it to try to help the treble. And this is just an Alnico 2 APB, bridge pickup from Seymour Duncan. It doesn't have the staggered windings or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have like the melt your face off feedback that I really like, but I knew Ron would get a kick out of this one. Oh yeah, you know how I've always talked about those hot rod nuts? That's a hot rod nut, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely
Robbie's got those hot rod nuts and those slam nuts.
Robbie,
definitely, yeah, I'm a nut kind of guy. Yeah.
You need some wing nuts.
Yeah.
No wing nuts. No wing nuts.
So we got one behind Mike here.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite guitar. There's only 32 of them that were made from Ernie Ball.
Is that a family reserve?
It's a Ball family reserve, yeah.
Yep.
And sorry about the camera. I'm not the best camera thing.
So it's got binding like a Les Paul, looks like, all up the neck.
He's a beauty.
Man. Yeah.
And it's got the roasted neck on it. Really nice guitar.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
I love Ernie Ball. He makes a nice guitar.
Yep, they do.
But I've got a few more, but that's pretty much about the highlight of my collection.
Wait, Rob's got something for us.
Robbie's hungry.
What are you plugged into there, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm not plugged into this room. Maybe I'll do yours.
That's just acoustically, that thing is that loud?
Yeah.
Wow. Just let me know how much you want for it. What we got?
Oh, nice.
Ernie Ball Heavy.
That's a good one. I like the heavies.
I got a couple more I'm going to show you. Just hang on a second. I don't know if you guys see me mention it in the chat. Johnny didn't pick up on it, but Eddie uses 0.60 millimeters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one sec.
I think it depends because a lot of his signature picks have different thicknesses. Of course, that could just be, they're releasing them because of. Like this one is, it's 0.6 there.
Damn it.
All right. So I showed you guys the Ernie Ball.
Mm-hmm.
They come in soft, medium, and hard.
That's what she said.
So this here, I don't know if you guys heard of them. They also have the finger grip on them. The grit. These here are called cat tongues.
Cat tongues?
I haven't heard of those.
You can get, they're multicolored. Hang on, I meant to grab.
Cool.
Okay. The only colors that I've seen, and it goes corresponding to the color. This would be the 0.60 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 0.73 millimeter.
Yep.
And then there's the 0.46 millimeter.
Oh, that's thin.
Nice.
Like it's literally.
Yeah.
Super thin.
I never found that I could.
These yellow ones are super thin.
Never found I could play very well with super thin pick.
No, I find like maybe if you're strumming, like more for like acoustic, acoustic.
Yeah.
And even this one here, this one is the 0.73. That's a little too much.
Yeah.
I'd be scared if you're going to try to do a pinch harmonic when you're it'd be a little too much. I'd be scared to do a pinch harmonic too close down to the bridge pickup, because I'd be scared I'd allow to pinch it between the bridge pickup and that, and allow to snap the E.
I got a 0.73 here.
And
that's a little heavy, I guess.
I'm going to, after the holidays, I'm going to take the Wolfgang back into Long and McQuaid to get them to check out that detuna. I might end up ordering a detuna beforehand and then take it in. And I'm going to get them to change out the strings to these bad boys.
1052s. That's pretty heavy.
Yep.
You like a heavier string on all your guitars?
No.
No?
No. I looked on, my wife looked on through Amazon, and she was trying to get the 10 to 46.
Yeah.
And the 9 to 46. Yeah. She was trying to look for 9 to 46, but they were sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to get me something for Christmas. So she grabbed these ones.
Yeah. That I would probably use those to tune down half a step. You know, like an E flat or even further. I typically use the 946 hybrids for my half step down guitars, and I use 942s for all the standard tune.
One more. And I believe I mentioned these ones here in the chat. I didn't see them out on the counter and on any of the peg tops at Long and McQuaid. They said they were selling them at the store. I just happened to go by when I was buying the guitar picks, and which those cat tongues, they come in a baggie, all multicolors, or you can buy them individually.
Mm-hmm.
Were these ones.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Cobalt.
Yep. I was looking for some strings for my my guitar that, hang on, let me turn this off. This guitar that's right here on the table, you can't see it, but that's the one that has the regular headstock and the trans trim on it. So I was looking for some strings that would be good to try to use for proper strength, and so I was looking at those cobalts, and I was thinking of trying those, but they were a little too expensive. So I tried some D'Addario and some Ernie balls, and I'm having some issues with that one because it seems even string to string. I tried the D'Addario XLs, 1046, and the first pack that I bought put on there, I was like, man, perfect. That's what I'm going to buy from now on. The next, I broke a string on it, so I put the same thing on there, and I couldn't get the trans trim to work right. So I'm still searching for for some consistent strings for that one.
These here, through Long and McQuaid, were $15.99.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, these ones here through Amazon were only like 20. These here were $26.
Just for one pack?
Just for one pack, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's high.
Super high. I think Guitar Center has those for $8, something like that.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah, what gauge are they, Robbie?
That's typically what I use. 942s.
942. 3 packs for $15.
They have the same here in Canada at Long LaQuade as well. It's just they have a separate stand for those because, like the Diodario ones, like you're mentioning, Robbie, that's what's on that Slammer Hamer that I have. The Diodarios.
This is Ernie Ball, super slinky. I don't use Diodario unless it's an electric 12 string. They're the only ones that make them. Unless you mix and match, go through that wormhole. You guys ready for more?
Yeah, man. What's
it, Robbie?
Let me get a drink first. God damn it. All right, let's see if I could do this without embarrassing myself.
Yeah, these are $7.99 for the 9 to 46.
Yeah, they were completely sold out on Amazon.
Wow. That's crazy.
You see the size of this case?
You got a Vanguard or something in there?
Like an Explorer size.
This is the case that Eddie would only use. This big son of a bitch. Until he went to flight cases, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
What year is that?
85.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, Robbie.
Poplar.
We want to hear Crazy Train on that thing one day.
Oh, forget that. Get him to play Holy Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice, Robbie.
Super
nice.
This
is a transition banana made by ESP. They went with Lucido. But this is one of the rare ESPs with the truss rod adjustment on the headstock. This Floyd Rose, the nut, everything on this Floyd Rose, I got new old stock out of the box. Never played. Rubber bands, plastic.
Man, look at that thing shining.
Fucking brand new, man.
Glistening.
Brand new.
Never used. 1983 Floyd.
I'm going to need some sunglasses.
Mm-hmm. Robbie's future is looking bright.
It's got the 78 custom shop, and the neck pickup is a Schaller. The Schaller neck pickups work really well, blending between the two.
God, so the tone, that rosewood is.
My tone on this guitar is the 3-way switch, because I run this stuff wide open. So if I'm in lead, I've got a more treble tone for the bridge by itself. You put it in the middle, where it is now, and that's both pickups, which give you a slightly warmer, but doesn't take away from the ripping feedback. You know, and then you got the still warmer if you just go with the Schaller. And that's how I get a warmer tone. Took me 5 years to find this body, man. Poplar Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
They only made Vanguards like this for a couple of years. Of course, they got a cease and desist from Jackson.
Yeah.
Super nice.
That's nice.
And I named it Elvira.
Good name.
And I don't know if you can see, there's an Elvira.
Oh, yeah.
Elvira graphic on a headstock.
Yep,
the one and only Kramer Elvira model. Right here, Poplar. Poplar.
Super light.
You gotta like them light guitars.
I try to build everything out of Poplar that I can. Sorry, don't rip the case.
Here's where I was finding those strings. This is Sweetwater. 1052. Normally they're $6.89. Of course, that's US. So you said you paid 20-something bucks for the pack?
$26 just for one single pack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. I gotta say it. I don't want to
supply and demand.
I don't want to offend you, but I gotta say it. What's that about?
Just like the old lady, she moved. She used to live with. She used to live in a shack. She moved to the boot and got laced.
Oh man, I gotta actually take
it's all good. I couldn't believe it though when I went to Long LaQuade and I had to pay $3.89 for the Beretta. I was expecting a price, but I wasn't expecting that much of a price. It's a good thing that I walked in with $300 and said, "Hey, buddy," I was just sitting there. Walked over, took it off the rack, sat there, fiddled with it for a couple minutes. I knew beforehand I was going to buy it.
Yeah.
And this jerk salesman was standing off to the side, pretending not to see me. And I had to walk over to him. I said, "I'm buying this." He said, "Really?" He thought I was some kid just walked in, just, tinkering around with it. And I just walked over. I said, "I'm buying this. Who do I speak to?" "Oh, 1 second." "Okay." So he took the guitar, as they all do. Leave you sitting there. So you're going around looking at all the eye candy. And this guy was in there one day, and he was really particular. He was buying an acoustic. He was like, you could hear him in the distance. He was like, "Should I get these strings?" "No." "You should. Well, you should get no. No." "Okay, now what kind of guitar picks can I get?" And he's standing. He's like, and the guy, the salesperson, literally looked at me. He was like,
"Yeah."
So, needless to say, it didn't take too long for the sales guy to get me all rang through. I just walked over and he said, "Okay, Mr. Blackmore, you're going to buy this guitar?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Give me 1 second." And he didn't have the Kramer box. He went out back and he got the Chavro box. He put it all in the Chavro box. $300, signature at the door. I come home. I sat it on the couch. Of course, with the Chavro logo facing out. I took a picture of it and I sent it to Johnny. I said, "Guess what?" Right. And I took the other pictures and I sent to him, right?
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to say, "You bought a Chavro."
Yeah. What I thought was funny when I went to to check the purple one out, they had the purple and the blue one, like Johnny had just played yesterday, I guess it was. So I kept going back and forth between them to decide which one felt better. The purple one felt better, and I was just making sure, kept swapping back and forth. And they had some other Kramers there, some of the ones with the 2 humbuckers and a Floyd on them, so I was messing with those too. But same kind of thing is I took the purple one up and I gave it to the sales guy, and they knew that I had been there, and they saw me swapping guitars and trying stuff out. So I handed it to the kid. I said, "I'm gonna buy this." He goes, "Oh, okay." I said, "I don't need the box. I just want to get the bar, make sure I get the bar with it." He goes, "Okay, no problem." He says, "And I'm sure I've got a brand new one in the box. You want that?" I was like, "No, I want that one. I just spent, 45 minutes going back and forth between these guitars to decide which one I wanted." It's amazing to me that a lot of, young kids or even, people that buy them online, I've bought guitars online. An Ernie Ball or an EVH USA model, I'd have confidence in buying that online. But anything else, man, I got to go and put my hands on it. I gotta feel it, hear it, like Robbie, I got to taste it sometimes, smell it, see if you can smell the nitro on it. I just thought it was funny, He was like, "Oh, I got a brand new one in the box." I'm like, no, that kind of, completely obliterates the whole thing of me testing between the 2 guitars that I was just trying to play.
When I went into the Long LaQuade to get the Wolfgang, and I had to put so much down on it before I got it, right? I got it on lease, which makes it easier for me, right?
Yeah.
And the first question I asked, I was standing over, and the first thing I did, I was just looking at it, because we all know some guitar centers or some on the plate or whatever music stores, you're not allowed to handle the guitars. They got to be the personnel to take the guitar down and give it to you.
Yeah.
And you can go play it or whatever. So this young guy, he's probably only about 20 some years old. I said to him, is it okay if I take that down? Yes, sir. And I'm like, who are you talking to? And so I took it down very carefully, was just there fiddling with it, and then and he took it to the counter, and I nerded out on him. I said, how come you can't see the brass balls on the tuning posts? Well, I don't really know. I said, did you ever see one in person with the brass balls on the tuning posts? I couldn't say that I seen brass balls. So I said, well, these things here are brass inside here, right? What are you talking about? I said, those little blocks right in there in that Floyd Rose. He didn't know his ass from his elbow.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
Yeah. I bought, yeah, you can see it right there. That white EV8 striped one. I bought that one locally. And when you buy, some places here you buy a guitar, they're going to go ahead and put new strings on it. And so the kid that I said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this, ring it up for me. He goes, okay, I'll go ahead and get some new strings. And he says, what do you use? I said, Ernie Ball Slinky 942s. Okay, no problem. I said, make sure the detune is set up right too. And he goes, I don't know anything about that. So I had to tell him real quick how to set up a detune, and he's like, oh, that sounds pretty simple. It's just amazing. These are just kids out of high school a lot of times in these guitar centers or local music shops. They don't know what the heck. It used to be back in the day when I was younger and shopping, you'd go in and you'd have the guys that are now my age working the counter. They knew everything. You ask them a question. Oh yeah, back in 1960, I learned how to. They had all the knowledge, but you just don't find.
They're like a
shops
fountain of knowledge, right?
Yeah,
that's what you like to see. Somebody to walk in, like I expect, like what you can expect to walk in any store. You walk in, you expect the guy that's on the floor to know at least a little bit about what is going on with the product you have in your hand.
But
if not, we can get this done. Customer service, we can get this done together. We can find this out together. Make us feel a little bit more comfortable, right?
Sometimes
but it's okay.
Sometimes that works to your benefit, though. This custom guitar that had the trans trim on it, the guy that was there, he's like, I don't have a clue what that is.
And the best of it all, the young guy said to me after it was laying on the table beside the register, and he said, if you weren't getting that, I was going to buy that.
I've heard that before.
Stole it out from under him, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Six Fingered, how's it going, man?
What's happening? I walk in a Guitar Center and it's like it's horrifying for me. I like literally melt like the Wicked Witch walking in there. Nightmares for days afterwards.
Yeah, the old guitar shops where you walk in and they're family owned, they've been there forever. People are knowledgeable. Those are gone.
Yeah. We just had probably one of our last ones. It's where I used to shop and buy all of my stuff back in the late 80s and 90s and up to this day. They recently sold out to Music and Arts, which I believe is a division of Guitar Center. But some of the guys that work in there, I had been dealing with for 20 plus years. And, they're still there. So that's, a benefit there. But, immediately I could see a change in the atmosphere of the shop being sold out, the way that, just kind of things were run a little bit in the feel of it. So,
yeah, it's kind of sad.
I will be back shortly.
Okay.
Okay.
Rob.
Don't run away.
Okay.
All right.
I shall return.
Robbie's going to go find his other Kramers that he's hiding under the bed.
They're hanging out.
So anybody else that's in the chat, we've got a few watching. There's a link in the description for the StreamYard if you guys want to jump in here, get on camera with us and talk. Who else we got? Alonso, Six Fingered, Dan. Any of you guys want to jump in? Come on, jump in.
Hey guys, my opportunity to say hello to everybody that's in the chat below.
What's up, guys?
It's the official Rob Blackmore. Now it's just me. I put that official in there so when people go on YouTube. I was planning on doing something on YouTube, and I didn't want somebody to say, there might be a Rob Blackmore somewhere else.
Right. So
and for all those people that are wondering, the last name Blackmore, Deep Purple.
Yep.
Yep. Richie Blackmore. You related?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That was the first thing I thought of when I saw your last name on the chat. Was Deep Purple.
He's a guitar player that I hear that everybody has trouble with. He's a bit of an a-hole.
He is, yeah. That's what I heard too as well. I mean, it's like it distantly related. It's like maybe like second or third or fourth cousin down the line.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years ago when I was in high school. I graduated in 1999. I think it was just shortly before that. My father had got a call on the phone, and there was this gentleman in the family that was putting on a family reunion. And I don't know if people heard of Fortress de Lewisburg. There's a place here in Cape Breton. It's called Lewisburg. It was a fortress, and it was what for the war, and basically it was French ran by the French, and they were doing a family reunion, and they said three quarters of the family wouldn't fit inside of Fortress de Lewisburg. So we did find out through this gentleman that Richie was related, and it was like a distant second or third cousin.
Gotcha. Cool.
That's cool.
And for all those people,
how you doing?
For all those people that are wondering about smoke on the water, it's plucked, not strummed.
What are the chords? Oh, that's
I hear Robbie unlatching some guitar latches.
I'm maneuvering.
Yeah, Robbie's on another level. I couldn't imagine having that kind of a collection of Kramers that old. That's really cool.
Well, it's not only having them, it's building them,
So he's got a personal connection to each one of them.
Exactly. Working at the factory and seeing Eddie and all that just blows my mind. I can't even understand that.
Well, you got to remember that Eddie was just a normal guy, even at 84.
Yeah, but it's it's one thing to see Eddie. I've seen Eddie in Vegas, but it's one thing to be at the guitar shop that his guitars are being built. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, at the factory, Eddie was like a inebriated normal guy.
I like that story you told the other day, Robbie, about where you and Eddie were in the parking lot kicking the necks around and avoiding curbs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we did it around the assembly room floor first. And then he chose a bunch of us to go outside in a parking lot to kick them around in certain spots. And that was the run of 5 in '84. You know, it's controversial. I just come out there and say, well, you know, 5150 was popular. Oh, well, I heard it was this. So I says, well, I was fucking there. And then you hear people, well, I still think it's basswood. And I'm like, yeah, well, what do I know? I kicked the thing. I held it. I know damn well it was made out of. It was there. You know?
Those stories are priceless. I mean, Robbie was there. That's cool.
Damn Skippy. You can see her eyes all you want. You can look at all the pictures you want in the world.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone the other day, and I was mentioning, you know, you, Robbie, that you had worked at the factory, and you were 99.99999% sure that it was poplar. And my buddy's like, I don't know, you know, kind of leaning towards ash, and I'm like, this dude worked there. He was there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't know. I've seen pictures.
If anybody's going to know, it's going to be Robbie.
You would think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He hated ash. He hated because remember, he's just going through the tube at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have all this rack stuff at that point, right? He's got some things he went through, but it was pretty basic. Signal strength was always number one. He knew damn well how to wire a tone knob in there. He didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to suck signal strength.
Yeah.
Now you could still get good feedback with 2 potentiometers, like I do out of Elvira.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do out of this next guitar I'm going to show you. You could still kick ass feedback, but your signal chain there's not a lot of effects. It's very Spartan. When he first wired up the Frankie, wasn't really even the Frankie then, 1 potentiometer, he put that in as a necessity. He had to have that. Because when he first wired it up, there was no potometer. It was straight into the amp. No switch. No nothing. Because that was signal strength.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come up against a wood. And he was dealing with, you know, the body Schecter and Charvel made that they claim, you know, was later claimed to be the Boogie Body's neck. But those the bodies, that ash body was actually made by Schecter with Charvel sanding and painting it. You know, and those were that's why they called it a second. That was a batch they made in like a weekend. They did like 150 bodies. And it was one of those.
Yeah.
You know, but he didn't like the way it was so squealy. Like I talk about maple and how you got to put the huge capacitor on it to try to stop that squeal out of the feedback, you know, that you have to try to control. So when Ed was there in '81, now I wasn't there, but I drove a guy that worked there to work every day, and I knew Bill Isaacson, who was head of the guitars at the time, and I would hear from them what was going on. And it was like some guy, Van Halen, at that point. Oh, yeah, that album was good. But it wasn't like all blown up like it is now. Nowhere close.
Yeah.
And that's why he had the ad Frankies made out of poplar. Well, anytime you see, the picture guys, there's all this and that, and this is this and that's that. If that thing looks shiny and nicer than usual, that was an ad Frankie. And he played those because he loved the poplar. He didn't like the ash. It was too dense. Yep. It would squeal up. The feedback would be the wrong pitches. You guys watch my videos. You know all about the feedback I get out of the rig. So that explains it all, And yeah, you can only get so much from photos. Not only that, but like you're talking, well, Ed had this Floyd on at this concert this year. He was swapping Floyds every other show. Look, this guy would take a Floyd Rose. He would take this spring out for the fine tuners. Okay.
Yep.
So he was relying on how tight the tolerances was on the fine tuner. Okay. Once those started to loosen a little bit, wouldn't stay attuned, he'd put another one on there. He also took out the shim between the base plate and the block.
Yep.
He took that out too. All right.
Yep.
So he majorly messed with them. We used to sand down the saddles. The saddles, right, which are pretty good. Saddles are nice heights. I could work with them all day long. He'd have a belt sander. Lowered all the saddles like that.
Yeah.
To the point where, hey, 1 out of 5 got so hot the sides just broke off.
Oh wow.
Or the little piece where it moves for the fine tuner, that little stud would just fly out of the saddle.
Getting that heat.
That's the kind of stuff he was doing. So to say
he was just trying to get his action lowered is what he was trying to do.
Well, at the time he liked low action. That's why he told us to backbow the necks when we dressed them.
Yeah.
And Billy Connolly wouldn't do that because that's not the official way. These hardcore Luthers are like, well, then it has to be this level, and you got to have this tool, then you have to level with this, then you have to absolutely make sure every fret is, super level. Oh, Edward was like, the hell with that. He's like, yeah, I want it said, I want the middle frets to be more, and then have the neck straight, and that way you get the action down better. You wouldn't get the slappies or buzzes or nothing. So that's how I do it. You professional Luthers could disagree. That's fine. You could disagree all day long, or you could try it. Just give it a try.
Yeah.
It's like the flat frets. Eddie loved flat frets at the time. We're talking in '84. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He told us just to sand the living crap out of those frets. And they'd be like, so thin that when you crowned them, you'd get a mark on the edges of the fret. Because the fret was so thin. It was almost too thin for the crowning file to work. A lot of people, they see a thin fret, oh, well, I got to refret it, or I want this or that.
Yeah.
And it's like opposite of what he was doing at the time. And he did not start off with stainless steel frets either.
Oh no, that wasn't until the Fender EVH.
Yeah, like 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally like nickel silver. Some of these artist necks, like I have an artist neck on this next guitar I'm going to show you. It's like there's so much nickel, or there's more silver than nickel. It's a soft fret. It takes me like no time to dress it, but it has a really good feel with the strings, Yeah. Unless you're playing 2 shows a night, 4 times a week, you're not going to need stainless steel frets.
Right.
You're not going to need it. And if you know how to dress a fret, you'll probably never change the frets on the neck either. In reality.
Yeah, not a normal person.
Well, yeah, even if you just played on weekends, or if you played every day. Most people didn't play all day, every day. Edward took the guitar with him. He went to the toilet. He was playing, you know. I don't think he took it in the shower, but
reminds me of that scene from 2.5 Men when he comes out of the bathroom and he's got his guitar with a little amp on his side.
2 burritos and a root beer float.
And a root beer float. Yep.
But I mean, he
always
didn't. You know, he wouldn't really plug in, but you know.
R2R3 says stainless steel frets all the way. I gotta agree with R2R3.
They are nice.
I like my stainless steel frets. Yep.
Well, I was pretty much expecting that, you know, because I'm the old school here.
But I get what you're saying, Robbie. You know, that vintage feel. You know, the nickel and that metal. I get it. Because stainless steel frets, they are different. They do have a different feel.
A nice silky smooth feel.
I like them. I do. I really like them.
Mm-hmm. But Robbie, you know, you said before that a little bit of imperfection in the frets give you like a split of the notes and the breakup and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. If you're gonna like polish the fret so it's like a mirror, everything's like super absolutely smooth, you can get it. You're missing that little bit of grit when you stretch that string. And if you've got a real sensitive amp that's like high gain through tubes and all that stuff that I'm always talking about, that little bit is going to trigger that feedback split. You know, it's gonna make those sounds. The guitar mostly plays itself.
Yeah.
And here's the.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Condor.
Oh, yes.
Kramer Condor Poplar.
That's a nice one.
Now, James Brown was here to be a hit.
Huh?
I said if James Brown was here to be a hit.
I had built this guitar with an alder body, and I could not get it to kick ass on the feedback. Freaking squealy. The day I finished this guitar, I plugged it in, and I played like nonstop Judas Priest for half an hour, 45 minutes. I never even played these songs before. It just came out of the guitar. It was hot, too. I was sweating all over. I was sweating like a pig.
That's cool.
Just rocking the hell out.
You have a good night, Janice. Thanks for coming in and joining us for a bit.
Bye,
Thank you, Janice.
See you next
Janice,
time.
you rock, Janice.
Janice is awesome.
Janice rocks, man.
Yes, sir. Dan Gorman, I just learned something new. What was that?
What's up, Dan?
There is a Santa Claus.
Enlighten us, Dan.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear.
Oh, we'll pull it up in the chat when he replies.
All right. This neck is a Lucido from early, probably late 84. If you look at the neck, you can see there's not much of a flute there. Like no flute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dan's saying that stainless steel frets.
Something on the subject of the frets, yeah.
He must like them too. That's an 84 neck?
Yes, this was an 84 Lucido Artist neck. Now, at the time...
Which artist?
Steven Van Zandt from Springsteen.
Okay.
Now, at the time, he wanted like an Explorer, but he wanted a Floyd Rose on it. So Kramer made him a Condor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Similar to this, with the Floyd Rose on it. So they got this neck from Lucido, like custom artist order. And it had no logo on it. And I saw the video of him playing it. And I was like looking at the video, and I'm looking at his neck, and and it was like, wow, I can't freaking believe it, because it was the same neck. And somebody had sold it to me. And if somebody uses a neck on a video like that, the guitar doesn't exist for long. It's probably torn down pretty quickly. And that was the case here. And so that was really cool with this particular neck.
So you say that exact neck is the neck that he was playing?
Yes. It's got the thinner frets. It's got the frets are very soft, which is what they did with the artist necks at that time. Because it gives it a real soft, easy to play feel. Because the strings, like, they don't fight with the fret.
Now, Robbie, the Lacido necks, are they made in Canada?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's Levery, the company's Levery, that also made you know the company, the acoustic. I can't remember the name of the company.
Starts with a G.
Yes.
Gildane?
Guild?
No, not Guild. It's
Godin?
That's it, Godin. Right.
Godin.
Exactly. That's all like the same company. Where it was back then.
Well, I tell you, I've upped my IQ immensely from listening to Robbie about the Kramer necks. And now every time I see a Kramer, I'm looking at the neck and looking at seeing what I can pick up on it. It's kind of cool.
And of course, it has the huge cape. Thank you, Mike. That's what I'm trying to do.
I've learned a lot. I thought I knew a lot, but I didn't know much after tuning in and listening to everything you've told us. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'll look at some stuff on eBay and I'll be like, nope, that one's crap, according to Robbie. Nope, that one's crap.
I do the same thing.
It goes into all these tribute guitars too, like, like, well, this is Musicraft, or this is Boogie Bodies, or and I'm like, yeah, it'll look good, it'll play good, it's perfectly fine, but to me, it's like, I don't know, it's just I can't take that plunge. And I've got this one guitar and everything for it. Look at this, I got this these treat jars for my cat, right? Come on, Zora. Thank you. So what's in here? Saw the capacitor. The taper potometer.
I agree with you, Dan.
Dan says Robbie is a Kramer wizard.
That's a good way to call it.
Six Fingers says Lord Kramer.
Mojo Tone vintage taper potentiometer. Okay.
Recommended brand of choice.
Let's keep going. Whoops. 84 Floyd Rose.
Just
sitting in the cat treat.
Yeah.
No serial number on that block. Okay. Pre-patent. Saddles are all compensated for. So it's ready to go on the 10-inch radius neck.
Yep.
Okay. What else do we have in here?
But wait, there's more.
Here we have springs, screw-in studs, and a claw. I'm not going to take the stuff out. You guys all know what this is.
Now, do you really think that the older style screw-in screws are that much better than the insert and studs?
Yes. You're going to get play out of the insert. The machine thread is going to give you a little bit of play, in that. People can argue whether it sounds better or not.
I would think that it would be a little more resonant with straight into the wood.
Theoretically, I don't know if you could really be able to tell that unless you were like really kind of trained in it. But all my guitars are wood screws. If it's not, I will fill the hole with a dowel, glue it in. With tight bond too. Okay, tight bond too. Stronger than the wood. This stuff kicks absolute ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta have the tight bond too.
Yeah, I've always heard that the wood glues, you know, like if you got a headstock break on a Gibson, after they are repaired, that is a better headstock than it was before because of the strength of the glue that's put in there.
They even say they sound better.
Right.
Wow, I never heard that before.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, I've heard people say don't be afraid of a Gibson with a headstock break repair because it's probably stronger and probably sounds better than
wow.
Than what
I'd run away from it like
really
like my pants are on fire, but
yeah. No, they say it's a stronger bond afterwards, but
I've heard the same thing.
What is that?
Old school Challer tuners. Okay.
Right.
6 of these. Notice how the shaft is not like goofy long right here. Because your Kramer necks, the 10 millimeter holes are drilled closer to the edge than most guitars. So you have to have, it'll look goofy. This thing will be sticking way out of the headstock. You know, you'd be like, whoa. It takes a long time to get this because these are like, you know, 80s tuners. Of course, I got them from Uplander. Everybody knows who that is now. What else do we have in here? Oh, gets even better, guys. Robbie's. This is like my Christmas stocking. Jeez, if I had a decent body and neck, this stuff would already be out for paint. All right, well, this is just a regular string retainer with a flat top. You know, boo, we don't like that shit.
We like the round ones, eh?
What else we got here? Okay, here is a round string retainer. But look how short that sucker is. You're barely going to get that to go across the strings. Still nice. I believe this is a reproduction one. There's a lot of companies that reproduce them.
Couldn't use that on a banana headstock for sure. You'd need more of a straight string pull guitar for that one.
Well, true, but we are talking non-tilt here. But even so, for me, I think I paid $35 for this. And what is it? Where's it go?
In the kitty treat jar.
And then finally, oh, this is a flathead one too. And we have these Challer strap locks, which I always use. I use the strap lock button, but not the lock itself. Always been like that.
So if somebody sent you a body, or if you purchased a body and a neck, just a body and a neck, you would have enough stuff at your house to put a complete guitar together.
Yeah. And here's the MXR knob. Okay. We got that. Old bar. Notice how the bend is really close to the threads. It's like a kid in a candy store, huh? Chrome tool pack.
I always hated that on the back of a headstock. I always took
Oh,
those
I
off.
love it. But then that's all Kramer stuff, so I absolutely love it. All the guitars have those. Barrel jack.
Mm-hmm.
No jack plates in my world. Oh. There we go. Can you guys say excited? And this.
Looks like a retainer.
Oh, it's a retainer, all right. Round profile, flat edges. Look how long this thing is.
That's what she said.
This is 2 inches long. Okay?
Yeah.
Custom made by Kyle at Dive Bomb for me.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
He's like, why do you want it 2 inches? I said, so I don't have to go right up against the nut with it. The strings go out from the nut.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This way you could put the string retainer, maybe half an inch back or so.
A little further out.
More appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the guys that was doing his Floyd install on the Pacer Special, he made that mistake as he put the bar too close or too far away from the nut, and it wasn't long enough. So he had to move it, and he had 2 holes in his neck, and he was kind of whining about it.
That would suck.
Should have measured twice,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know how it goes. I pre-assemble everything several times before setting out to paint.
Right.
So, and of course, the hot rod nut.
Is that an R5 or an R3?
I believe this is R2. Yeah, it's an R2.
Which we now know the R means right-handed.
Right.
Yep.
And I mean, it's like R3 was slightly wider, and it's slightly wider on the V's. Not a lot. So the R2 had the E's in just a hair. We're talking maybe 2 millimeters, maybe less.
Mm-hmm.
And the R3 has them set out a little more. But it's not like they made R3 necks.
R2, R3 is answering the roll call. He heard his name.
The R3 was for a 12-inch radius neck, and the R4 was for a 10-inch radius neck. They have a difference in the radius on the nut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like for this neck, this is an R5 neck with an R4 nut to match the 10-inch radius that ESP used in 85.
You got an unlevel fret right about the 14th fret there.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
Give
I
me a
can see
break
it.
on that shit.
I can see it.
Robbie's like,
Yeah.
No freaking way. And it's a hot rod nut too, man. It's just, you can see how low that nut is.
It's slam nut.
It is low.
It is, but it'll barely clear this first fret which I sanded more when I dressed it. I always sand that first one more. Telling you people.
Is that the neck that you made the video of doing the rear mount?
Yep. This is the neck that I repaired when I went through and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's freaking goddamn beautiful. Neck. Once it gets treated and all, it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. My heart sank when I saw the drill go all the way through on you. I was like, oh.
I know, but then you had the joyous experience of witnessing the result of the repair.
Yeah. It was almost kind of good that it happened so you could see how to repair that kind of mistake, you know?
Exactly what I was thinking. And it really shows, because you see it right there in the video. You got that hand drill and you're just holding it, and you're holding the hand drill like that to countersink. And when that drill caught, I could let go of the neck, so the neck would move with that little bit of a drill spin before I could take my finger off the trigger. And that way the neck, it didn't grab and absolutely ruin the neck.
Yeah.
If you had this thing clamped down to a press and you were pressing it in and that bit caught and the neck couldn't go anywhere, it would split. It would have split the son of a bitch. Believe me, I know. I did it at Kramer, you know. That's why I do the way I do. To have some confidence, make sure you're straight. I went too fast on that. I should have just taken my time and waited like the forever until I could have got that itty bitty little bit I needed.
Yeah.
But I was on the video. I wanted to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
feeling the pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm glad it happened, because anybody trying to do this stuff can tell that it could be repaired. It's not the end of the fucking world.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm really happy about that, you know.
Robbie, how long does it take you to dress a neck?
It depends. This one on the Condor probably took me about 45 minutes because the frets were like really soft. They're thin. That was easy. On the ESP neck on the 5150, that took longer, and I had to do it twice because I wasn't satisfied the first time on the first pre-assembly. So I tear it all apart and do it again.
Hey, Dan said you can make a Kramer out of a hockey stick.
Well, if the hockey stick was made in Japan by ESP, probably.
I think Dan's right. I think you could do it.
Last in the thing is just you guys will love this. A handful of nuts.
Nuts. Well, hey, gentlemen, it's coming up on 2.5 hours we've been going. I probably need to get out of here and get to bed. Got to get up early in the morning. So appreciate everybody stopping by, everybody coming in and saying hello. Great to put some faces to the names, and I'm sure we will do it again.
Had a good time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. That was great, pleasure.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And you know who I am.
Yep.
Well, thanks to everybody in the chat for stopping by. Alonzo, we'll see you. Janice is just back just in time for us to end.
Bye,
Six-fingered R2, R3, Dan Gorman, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, guys.
To meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Ryan. Bye, Mike. Bye, Robbie.